I never know how to start these things. We are actually back at the Quehanna Wild for the third time. I still don't know how to pronounce it. Quehanna, 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 I have no idea. By myself again. Gonna do a quick overnight. Today will actually not be quick, but tomorrow morning will be really quick. It is a little after 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna shut up and just get walking. So total, this is gonna be about 21 miles if everything goes to plan. 17 miles of that will be today. If you're wondering why I'm always wearing the same clothing in like every video, I actually do have another one of these shirts, but it is like a really light color, and Brooke says you can see my nipples through it, so decided nobody wants to see that, even though I take my shirt off in like most of the videos, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I think I already went the wrong direction for maybe a quarter of a mile. That's the direction I need to go. I was walking down this path, just got distracted and forgot to look for the yellow blazes. This is the start of, I think, Wykoff Trail, leading over to Big Spring Draft. Intersection of Big Spring Draft and Wykoff. And we want to take Big Spring that way. Just came across this bridge in progress. Guess it's better than nothing. Just kidding, it's not better than nothing. I really like the challenge of doing these long days solo. The downside is often I get so distracted and caught up in how many miles I'm targeting and how many miles I need to do. It kind of takes away from just the hiking and just enjoying it. Like earlier when I was off trail by like a quarter of a mile, my first thought is, oh shoot, now I got to do a whole extra half a mile. How long is that going to take me? Now I need to try to make that up at some point. But it's really not that big of a deal. None of my trips ever go as exactly planned, and I've come to accept that, so that's just part of it. There's a white-tailed deer down there. That was actually like the 5th or 6th deer I've probably seen, but first one that I saw before it saw me. The first one I saw I almost hit with my car about 100 yards from trailhead. There's a bunch of cool flowers in here. Looks like there's just a spring here coming out of the ground. It's kind of sweet. I'm half tempted to get some water from it, but I don't actually need water. All right, we are exiting Big Spring Draft Trail. Gonna hang a left, walk down this road for a very brief stint, and then turn right onto trail number 15 or something like that. Really creative name. There she blows. Not the most manicured trail. Now I know why they gave it a boring name. Just kidding, it's actually been a nice walk. All the little grassies tickling my ankles. Getting a nice shin tickling as I walk through this. All right, so we just got off number 15 and we are on the official Quehanna Trail. I will probably be on the Quehanna Trail for the next 8 to 9, maybe 10 miles. It's a nice parking area and a little kiosk, like maps and stuff. I was gonna stop here to get lunch, but there is no shade. I think probably not that far from now, I should be able to get into some shade, maybe down by some water where it will be not as hot, and then I'll stop there. For some reason, periodically throughout the day, I keep getting this whiff of dog food. I don't know if there's some sort of plant that smells like dog food, but I keep getting a whiff of that. Well, I was just thinking how nice everything was going, how smooth it was, and then I just wanted to cross this little creek here and my foot slipped on the bank. And we got a little muddy. So most of the mud came off while I was walking, but I think I'm still gonna take my shoes off, try to evaluate, maybe dry my feet out a little bit while I eat some food. Not too bad. Just had a nice lunch, took a decent break, aired out my feet, did some stretching, which hopefully helps. We've had a nice, easy 8-mile warm-up. If I check the track that I had mapped out, I'm only at the 7-mile marker. So I obviously added a mile here or there. Have about 10 miles left to go, and it's not going to be as flat. So we'll see how it is. Think I can make my way across there? I mean, I definitely can. It's just, should I? I just dried my feet out. Let's try to keep them dry. Okay. Alright, well, I was just about to comment that it's a good thing I don't weigh very much, and then I snapped the log I was standing on. I have no idea what this thing is. It looks like some pipe going across there, but that water's cresting over. So, I don't know, maybe it's a gas thing, an oil thing, I don't know. I'm not a pipeologist. Whew, got a pretty steep uphill. At the top of that climb, just kind of popped out into this big opening. It's a lot of trees, but it's just super open. If you're trying to figure out why I look so badass all of a sudden, it's because I put this buffer on my head to keep sweat from running down my eyes. 3 trips, 3 rattlesnakes. I don't see it anymore, but it was underneath that little rock right there. Oh, I mean, look at this. This field is just awesome. How can you not love this type of scenery? Funny thing is, I was hesitant to put my earbuds in because I wanted to be able to hear in case I did run into a snake. And then I finally decided to put them in. Luckily, I had the volume down fairly low. That gets your heart up every time. All right, apparently I am technically off route, but I think the actual Quehanna Trail just goes through this corner of the field. And I had mapped out a shortcut that cut through the woods. And I'm just gonna go this way. It'll add a little bit of distance, but I just think this is cool, so I'm gonna just keep walking along the edge of this field. Somebody was walking through here. I can see the grass is bent. There's a blaze on the tree right there. Chocolate milk pond. About to get off this grassy road and take a left down that way. But I'm happy that I took the long way because that was sweet. Well, this is kind of fun. I'm going down a pretty long and steady downhill. I think this is probably going to be the most painful part of the trip. It's hurting my knee a little bit, so I'm going to get my other trekking pole off. I'm going to use one of these drink mixes. Not normally a fan of drink mixes, but I've been sweating a lot, so I think it'll be good. I'm walking through a ton of stinging nettles. They keep getting my ankles, or like my calves. It burns a little bit, and since I am stubborn and will not wear pants, I don't really have much I can do about it. But I'm going to put my gaiters on. I took them off so that they would dry out, but I'm gonna put them back on and just let them like ride around like a skirt, and hopefully that helps. Boom. Now between the headband and whatever I got going on down there, I am super fashionable. Oh, nice tree fell down, blocked the path. And the trail's right here. I had to go all the way up and come down here, and it was pretty steep and covered in leaves, which makes it really slippery, and I kind of twisted my ankle a little bit. Getting a little banged up trying to get down through this section. Why? Can I get through here? I am over this. Okay, just walked past another rattlesnake. This one was a little further away. It was at least up off the trail. I think it squirmed away. I went back to see if I could get a shot of it, but I sound like I'm out of breath because it scares the crap out of me, not because I'm physically exerting myself. I'm just kind of taking a break in the shade right now. It's actually not as hot as I expected it to be at this time of day. Maybe because I've been in the trees. Ow. Hopefully that last section was the worst of it. At this point, I'm going to walk up the road a little bit here and then start to go uphill. Hopefully it's a little bit better condition and there's not so many nettles and down trees. All right, I think I made it to the top of that incline. Coming up wasn't too bad. It was a little overgrown in places, but the biggest problem is just that my knee has kind of hurt ever since that downhill. If I get to walk on flat ground for long enough, I think it'll stop hurting, but it's that same knee that I hurt at the Black Forest Trail when I tried to run like an idiot. Right now the trail is nice and smooth. Hopefully it stays this way and we'll see if it stops hurting. I got some sweet hair going on. It's a little after 4 and I have gone 13.9 miles, but I think I've only covered 12 miles of the actual trail that I had mapped. So I definitely added some mileage at some point. So we'll see how much we end up with when we get to camp. Got a lot of time, it's only 4:12, so I'm not concerned about making it there in time, just if my knee gets any worse, but it doesn't hurt bad enough that it's a problem, it's just annoying. 4:25, breaks over. I should have about 5 miles or so to go. We'll see how much it actually ends up being and what time I get to camp. It's kind of neat. Did I just lose my... What's kind of funny is if I just followed this gas line that way, eventually I would get to camp. Because this is the gas line that I'm actually going to be camping on. Just, I gotta take the long route to get there. I don't know if it's possible to actually just follow it all the way or if I would run into obstacles, but seeing how high the grass is cutting through there makes me wonder if I'm gonna have a hard time setting up my tent. So we'll see. Came across a pretty cool camp. It's like inside these ruins. It is about 5:30. I have gone 16.6 miles. I'm guessing I have between 2 and 3 left. It's been kind of slow going because my knee is still hurting. Hurts worse now that I've just been walking on it continuously. It's kind of bumming me out a little bit. Everything else feels perfectly fine. My other knee, perfectly fine. My feet, perfectly fine. So it's kind of a bummer. There's always one thing. If it's not my blisters, it's my feet hurting. If my feet aren't hurting, my knee hurts. All right, gonna get going. I gotta figure out where the trail even goes and then get to camp. All right, we made it. This is where I stayed last time. It is, the grass is a lot higher. Last time I actually had a fire out in there somewhere, but you can't see the ring, and my tent was set up over there, closer to that tree. I think I might actually set up in here because there's a little bit of shade. 6:30, total mileage on the day was 18.9 miles. My knee hurts. It actually isn't horrible when I'm moving, but then as soon as I stop, like right now, and then I start moving again, it starts to hurt. So just going to start setting up, get ready for dinner, and then hopefully rest it and pray it doesn't hurt too much tomorrow. All right, you guys have seen me put up my tent a bunch of times. It's not that exciting, so we're just gonna skip all that. Ta-da! All right, this is what we got. You might be wondering, where's my sleeping bag? Well, I didn't bring one. It was gonna be so hot that I decided I would be sweating to death if I brought it. So that's all I brought. I am hungry. We need to get water, wood, food, and then relax. All right. It is 8:48 p.m. It's starting to get dark. The sun is almost down. I just had a big dinner. I ate a chicken and dumplings Mountain House meal. And then I had a tuna wrap. 2 packets of tuna and then a tortilla. And then actually I put some of the leftover chicken and dumplings into my wrap just to see what it was like. And it was fine. I'm gonna get ready for bed, put the GoPro right. I'm gonna put the GoPro right. I'm gonna put the GoPro away. I'm gonna go chuck it out in the field, see if I can capture a night lapse. I don't really know how to do that very well, so we'll give it a whirl, see if we get anything good. Long day, almost 19 miles, 4 miles tomorrow to the car. Honestly, I wish it was less than that because I want to just get up and get out, and don't really know how my knee's gonna do, so we will see. But it is bedtime for me. See you in the morning. All right, it's about 6:30. Starting to do the morning routine, getting breakfast, getting coffee that I'm gonna pack up and leave. Last night was okay. It was colder than I expected, so I wouldn't have minded my sleeping bag, but I survived. I didn't necessarily sleep the best, but it wasn't horrible. So hopefully quick morning, then we'll get going. Still got my spoon in my mouth. All right, it is 7:30. I'm maybe a quarter of a mile down the trail, and I think I have like maybe 3.5 miles. I'm gonna try to be at my car at 9 because I have almost a 3-hour drive and I need to be at a picnic at 1 o'clock. Pretty much walking one of these, what's essentially like a cross-country ski trail. Pretty much walking one of these all the way to the road, and then have a little bit of a road walk. It's a really nice morning. Unfortunately, my knee still hurts. Reptile and amphibian protection area. I don't know what that means, but I guess protect them. All right, well, I got 1.6 miles left. Unfortunately, this is my trailhead. Old Hoover Trail. And it looks quite overgrown. The reason my knee bums me out, it really has nothing to do with bumming me out for this hike. It really just bums me out because then, you know, you just start to think about, well, is there actually something wrong with it? Do I need to stop walking long distances and figure something out? So it's not so much the pain of having to get through a hike, because that's just sort of expected. Maybe I shouldn't assume that you're supposed to have pain at some point, but it's really just thinking about the long-term repercussions and implications of having a knee problem. This is a little better. Is this the bat bunker? Am I on top of it? Maybe there's an underside to it or an entrance somewhere. I don't feel like exploring, so I'm not gonna bother looking. If anybody knows anything about this area and if that's the bat bunker, let me know. We've got about a half mile to go, so I'm just gonna wrap it up now. Overall, I actually did like this trip, other than my knee hurting. And there was a section that was kind of frustrating with all of the down trees and the stinging nettle. It was kind of a pain, and that's the section that actually started hurting my knee. Other than that, I stumbled upon some really cool, unexpected sections of the trail. Total mileage was about 19 miles yesterday. So personal record for mileage in one day yesterday. And realistically, it was probably at least another mile with how much I was walking around camp. Probably gonna be between 3.5 and 4 miles today. So that's it. I'm gonna just enjoy this nice, easy, open section of trail. And we'll look forward to the next hike. Insert some catchy sign-off phrase. Man, I look so dumb with this thing on.